What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's news we have Tyron Woolley. He paid a fan $5,000 for his viral meme knockout. Jake Paul offers Jorge Masvidal $5 million to box him. Michael Chandler believes he'll rematch Justin Gaethje by the end of 2022. And Brendan Schaub defends Chael Sonnen following his battery citation. And much more. If you are new, please hit that subscribe button and also like the video. Days after his knockout win over former UFC champion Tyron Woolley, Jake Paul is already angling for a fight with another UFC star. The YouTuber turned boxer put out a fight offer to Jorge Masvidal. Speaking on his brother's podcast Impulsive on Tuesday, Paul responded to Masvidal's recent comments saying he won't fight him and made a lucrative offer in the process.
$5 million guarantee plus percentage of pay-per-views. That's the most you would ever have made as a fight. Ever. So now you can't say, I either fight the best or I fight for money. $5 million guarantee plus pay-per-view. Let's make it happen.
It didn't take long for Masvidal to respond to these comments. He took to Twitter telling Paul the purse will have to be much higher for the UFC to even consider making the fight. The UFC isn't gonna let me go for chump change, Masvidal wrote. Make that 20 guarantee plus pay-per-view and I'm sure the UFC will be okay with it as long as I break them off their fee, then I'll gladly break your face. Jorge then followed up with, if the UFC still says no because the money's too low, then come over to the UFC, sign a one-fight deal, and we can stipulate I can only box in the cage. If I'll do anything other than that, I will forfeit my purse to you. Come over and get paid and laid out. Dana White is open to the prospect of Conor versus Nate 3. In a recent interview with ESPN, UFC President White explained from his perspective that the option for a third fight between McGregor and Diaz isn't going away. However, Diaz needs to be in it for it to happen.
I mean, I would think that the biggest fight for him, the most obvious fight for him, would be Conor. And you just said that like you can't hold up people because Conor's, you know, this summer, the whole landscape could change. That fight almost doesn't change ever though, right? Like the trilogy fight, like it's just kind of there, like the stakes
always
of it.
There, yeah.
So is that a fight that you're interested in? Could we see that fight in 2022?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that fight could happen. You can make that fight.
Yeah. Okay.
There are a lot of fights that you can make for Nate Diaz, but Nate Diaz has to want that fight.
Tyron Woolley could be crawled up in a ball right now in a dark room and nobody would blame him. But ever since he was brutally knocked out by YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul last Saturday night, the former UFC welterweight champion has handled the devastating defeat like a professional and with a positive attitude. Case in point, on Tuesday, Woolley announced that he paid a fan $5,000 for creating the best meme depicting the vicious knockout in which he slept and face planted onto the canvas. If Justin Gaethje doesn't get the best of Charles Oliveira on the feet, then he doesn't like his chances.
I mean, at the end of the day, if my striking isn't way better than his, then I wouldn't be in this. You know, I'm per se. You know, that's where I'm great. You know, I'm great at creating pressure, creating damage, and stopping takedowns. So ultimately, he is going to be trying to get it to the ground because I'm going to find so much success in the striking department. He is incredibly dangerous in the striking department. His knees, his elbows, his ability to create pressure, control distance, second to none. But I better be better, or else I'm going to be in a world of trouble.
Yeah. Another thing that happened.
Brendan Schaub comes to the defense of Chael Sonnen. If you don't know, Chael Sonnen was charged with 5 battery citations after he allegedly beat up 5 men in Las Vegas. While speaking on his podcast Below the Belt, Brendan Schaub said this.
There's news on Chael Sonnen.
Where's that female that was here that said she was punched in the face?
She's down the hallway.
I spoke to Chael. Here's what happened. Chael was obviously working and he was with his wife. His wife is a fucking saint. Some drunk guy with his girl kept making comments about her tits, her ass, right in front of him. Well, play stupid games, win stupid prizes because you're disrespecting one of the toughest guys on the planet and definitely one of the toughest to ever compete in the UFC or Bellator for that matter. This is not a case of Chael hitting his wife like John did. This is not a case of Chael Sonnen being high and wrecking his Bentley with strippers in the car. This is not the case of Chael domestic violence in any facet. He's in Vegas. He's walking to his room. Drunk guy and his girl start talking shit to his girl. The guy keeps commenting on his girl and her looks, and you're dealing with a guy's guy in Chael Sonnen, and he stuck up for his girl and beat the shit out of the guy. If your man's not willing to do that, he ain't shit.
Boxing legend Oscar De La Hoya and UFC President Dana White don't see eye to eye on many things, including promoting. White recently issued a warning to former UFC star Khabib Nurmagomedov about the struggles on being a fight promoter.
Hey, Dana.
Yeah.
Over here. This week, Khabib held a press conference announcing that his promotion will be in the United States. I'm wondering if you guys talked about anything, if you gave him any advice or what you think about him coming to the United States.
Have we talked about his promotion being in the United States? No, I haven't talked to Khabib about his promotion at all. But yeah, he's gonna find out what it's like to be on the other side, and you know, it's not as fun as it seems. He's gonna learn.
If he asks for any advice, or
if he doesn't know, he's gonna know. See what I did there?
If he asks for advice or any help, will you give it to him, or are you going to kind of let him learn the hard way?
Am I going to what?
Are you going to let him learn the hard way, or will you give him any advice or any help?
Listen, if he calls me and wants advice, I would absolutely give him advice. But yeah, I think he's going to learn the hard way. Yeah.
Oscar De La Hoya came across Dana White's warning to Khabib and proceeded to offer the Eagle a different perspective based on his own experience. He wrote on Twitter @Team Khabib, "I've been a promoter in boxing for 20 years and promoted all the best, including Mayweather, Pacquiao, Canelo. It's not complicated. You go and do your thing. MMA fighters deserve to get paid fairly. I'm in your corner." UFC welterweight Belal Muhammad has called out Khamzat Chimaev following his win over Stephen Wonderboy Thompson last weekend. A fighter who can't stay out of headlines is Khamzat Chimaev. The man is known as Boris and is viewed by many as a title contender in 2022. And after UFC President Dana White claimed that nobody out of Neil Magny wanted to fight him, Belal decided to step in and correct the boss. He posted this on Twitter: "Send me location @Dana White, @Sean Shelby, @UFC." Derek Lewis and Dana White share conflicting views on recent UFC knockout record achievement. Last Saturday night at UFC Vegas 45, Derek Lewis put on an impressive display by knocking out top contender Chris Daukaus in a nice bounce-back win following his defeat to Cyril Gane in the summer. The victory broke a tie between Vitor Belfort and Matt Brown to ensure that the Black Beast now holds the record for the most knockouts ever in the UFC. Dana White, understandably, was pretty impressed by the accomplishment.
First of all, Derek Lewis becomes the all-time knockout leader in UFC history. Guy that had a rough start to life and everything. What does that say about the guy that he can say, all the great fighters you had, Derek Lewis is now your knockout king?
Yeah, and if you look at the amount of time that he's been here, he's the records that he's broken, it's impressive, man. And he looked good tonight. You could see he was waiting. He was timing those shots. He was ready. I don't know if you guys have seen him in person yet, but he looks pretty lean for Derek, too. He got in good shape. He said that last fight pissed him off, and he wanted to make up for it tonight, and he did.
In contrast, Derek Lewis doesn't seem to care all too much. And that's the end of the video. If you are new, please go ahead and subscribe, and also like the video. If you want to see more content like this, please leave a comment down below. Peace.